Facebook, YouTube, the day of Uriel the Archangel. God is our fire and light. Nope, not wooden. Stop worshiping gods and goddesses. Exodus 20:3. Don't serve no other God before you. Don't acknowledge these morons. Anyway, topic of the message. Oh man, we are, like I say, approaching a period of time that is, wow, historic. A historic period of time that we need to really behold what we're entering. God showed me some interesting things about the time and period we're living in, that I probably might share when I share how the ideal of the period of time and how it works concerning the beginning to the end, kind of ideal spectrum, and that it has something to do with the universe. But that's a whole nother message. But topic of the message that God has laid on my heart, he laid on, I think, 3 messages, I don't know. But the first message is the reality of the sequence of developing light and darkness. The sequence of light and darkness, more likely, the topic of the message. Here's the thing that we need to understand is sequence. Because if something, I tell people, is the simple logic of how we're supposed to look at life. If something is going wrong, period, not just because it's going wrong with me or going wrong with you, but if something is going wrong, period, we are supposed to pretty much investigate what's going on with it. If we want things to go right, automatic is supposed to be investigation. And God taught me that love is about investigation. You know what I'm saying? Love is about investigating to find out what is going on, because in the investigation you will find the truth. But lust is all about not investigating. It's just looking at things, face view, and accepting it, and not really finding the truth of the matter, but leaning upon a lie concerning situation, leaning upon a lie, because lust is like, whatever, it doesn't care about what the truth. Lust will never care about the truth. And it's like going after the lie. Settling for a lie, because lie right there. You don't have to do no work. The lie, you don't have to just engage in the lie activity and forget about the truth. But the thing is that a sequence takes place inside of us that we must be aware of, that is preceding something that is going to lead us to life or lead us to death. That's what we need to be aware of. And the thing is, lust really is trying to give you unfulfilling substance that will leave you less unaware of. You just focus on pleasing our flesh, body, instead of ignoring the reality of the truth that is right before your eyes. That's crazy that people don't understand to what kind of darkness that I tell people that lust can, keep us in so much darkness within ourselves. But I got to get to the teaching. All right. Now, one thing you got to understand, Jesus said, this is very important. This sequence is very important. He said, love the Lord with all thy heart, soul, and mind. Now, what God taught me about that, he told me many things about that idea sequence. But this idea sequence I want you to understand is God taught me that about now notice it says the first thing, because that's what you got to follow with God, because God is a God of order. The first thing he said, heart. And heart is a very important position concerning the sequence of you going here. Like where your treasure is, where your heart, where your treasure is, where your heart is. He didn't say where your treasure is, where your mind is, or your treasure is, your soul is. No, he said where your treasure is where your heart is. Of course, that's in Matthew 6, 19, I believe, 20. But anyway, the thing is, this sequence is going to develop something that is going to develop a desire. Now, your desires are what you are going after. You're going to go after a desire. And the thing is, you need to understand the two L's that are opposition against each other concerning, you fulfilling a purpose. Because as Jesus said at the Garden of Gethsemane, is the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Jesus shows you the two power forces that are against each other, that are warring against each other concerning the direction of your life. That the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Now, I put a post on my Facebook, and I put there that, that God told me love is for the spirit, but lust is for the flesh. Now, the thing is, these are the two ideal desires that you can have in your heart. And unfortunately, you can have both of these desires in your heart. And when you have both of these desires in your heart, that will lead to confusion, which Satan desires you to be in, because he is the author of confusion. That he wants you to be confused of these desires, because that's the only way he's going to deceive you. You know what I'm saying? Satan can only deceive us in confusion. He cannot deceive us in peace. That's another message. But anyway, the thing is, that's the first ideal of what, that he's going to develop a desire. Now, what you got to understand, as, we know the Adam and Eve story, but as what we do in life, we desire things in life. We have a desire for things in life. We desire music. We desire all kind of things, all kind of stuff that, but mainly I want to talk about music. Now, the thing is, music is a very powerful thing. One of the most powerful things in the universe. Pretty much is the powerful thing in the universe, because it's sound. And, sound, God said, and bam. Yeah, sound is a very important, powerful force in the universe. That the thing is, when you hear a sound, what happens is you yield yourself to receive. Your heart yields itself to receive whatever instructions that is given to it. You know what I'm saying? That people need to be careful about music. And of course, Satan knows music, because he was a praise and worship leader in heaven. And he knows the power of what music can do to people, to yield their self to the instructions of it. And those instructions could be of light or darkness. You know what I'm saying? Light of God or darkness of Satan. In the words of what it's, giving you instructions to do. That's what Paul talks about, that he delights in the law of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We can delight in the laws of lust, or the laws of sin, or the laws of the lust of the flesh or darkness, And the thing is, what we don't realize, these words are going to facilitate something, as what Matthew 13 is talking about, the seed of the sower. That, these seeds that you're putting in your heart is going to create the condition of your heart. I got to keep going. That's going to establish a meaning. Something is going to have meaning. Something either going to be meaningless, or something is going to be meaningful. Pretty much whatever you believe in concerning of what you have sown, the words that are seeds that are sown in your heart, what is meaningful to you is what you're going to gravitate to. You know what I'm saying? You're going to gravitate to desire. And, you're going to go after this desire because you see meaning in it, either light or darkness. You know, and people that sinners are people that find meaning. See, sin is meaningful to them because they have an eye, or more likely, they develop a reason to seek after the things of pretty much the PT, I call it, people and things concerning things that are based upon the earth, of course, the earth or the dirt that is without form, void, darkness. You will develop a meaningful reason to seek after things, and that's what Satan is all about, you know, through television, radio, and all kind of communication sources, to consistently see that this is a meaning of why you should go after this, and make the opposite meaningless, because what you make meaningful here, the opposite is going to be meaningless. Yeah, that's important to understand. Now watch this. When everything becomes meaningful to you, it will develop a matter. And meaning, you know, God showed me, meaning will develop a matter, or what matters to you. What matters the most to you. You know, when you develop a meaningful, it becomes a matter the most. That means you will seek after the people and things of this world because it matters the most to you. Now, you know, and of course that is dangerous territory. And now you go to what happens is, and now it becomes praise. When it becomes matter, when it matters the most to you, you praise it. Or more like you know, Christians, we praise God because he matters the most to you. Same thing in the earth. You start praising what matters the most to you. You start praising the PT of the earth, people and things of the earth. Now people and the things of the earth matters the most to you. And now you seek after that more and more. And now watch this. This is where this is the dangerous area. Now you have placed this thing as a priority as number one. You people that operate in darkness is placing the people and things of this world as a higher priority than God. Or more likely what it says in 2 Corinthians and 10 talks about, you know, that we have exalted our knowledge before the knowledge, we exalted our knowledge higher than the knowledge of God. And we create strongholds. Those strongholds in here that, you know, hard-headed, thick skulls that we have. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We created a stronghold in our minds that we will exalt our knowledge concerning the things of God higher than the things of the knowledge of God. And we find ourselves performing in this sequence that is operating in darkness, of course. And this sequence is developed all the way. Now, I want to talk about the meaning of love and lust. Now, the simple definition of love and lust. Now, love means giving you what you need. Now, I tell people, like it says on Genesis, you know, that God blew breath in our nostrils and we became a living soul. Therefore, if he made us the living soul, is what we supposed to automatically need in life. We supposed to say, bingo, God. But it's not like that, because we have got the lust of the flesh inside our hearts, that we will seek after what I want or what we want in the lust of the flesh. And the lust of the flesh develops that sequence of what I want. Now, the thing is, what Satan, like I said, Satan's all about twisting what you need and what you want. He wants to make what you want what you need. And that's his sequence. And here's the thing about the dangerous part of this sequence that I tell people that I know I hear people say, I want God. But here's the thing about the ideal want. Want means option. That means God becomes an option. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting God, but God has to be more than just an option. See, if you have other options, that means he's an option. That means you can create other options that you can go to concerning the things of this world and in this world. But when he becomes what you need, when you recognize that Jesus Christ is what you need, he's the air that I breathe, he's the breath that God placed inside of me, that humanity became a living soul, then you start seeing that this is the number one priority. And love can only do that. And of course, God is love, and love is God. But that's the message. I hope you understand the sequence of what I'm saying. That's the message. God be glory, him forever, in Jesus' name, amen.